What's up, guys? I wanted to come to you guys today with my TLC review. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on TLC from last night. So let's get right into the show. To start off the show, we had Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was a really good match last night at TLC between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was a pretty good one-on-one match last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought this was the one of the better matches of the night last night at TLC between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. I thought this was one of the better matches of the night on the pay-per-view card last night. I thought this match was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun match. It kept me entertained. It was fun to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a fun match. It kept me entertained throughout the match. I thought AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre did a great job. I thought both guys put on a fantastic match last night to start off the show last night for TLC for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was probably one of the better matches last night on the TLC card for the pay-per-view. I thought this was a really pretty good match between Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, man. I really enjoyed this match. This match was fun. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was one of the better matches of the night last night at TLC between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre last night on TLC for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I thought this was one of the better matches. I thought it was fun to watch, and I was thoroughly entertained by it. It kept my attention and it kept me entertained, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I really did. I thought this was a fun match. It was fun for me to watch. It was entertaining for a really good one-on-one men's match last night for TLC. I thought this men's match between AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre was one of the better matches last night. I thought it was a fun to really decent match. I really enjoyed it. I had fun watching it. This match was fairly entertaining to me. I thought it was a fun match. I really did enjoy it, man. I really did. It kept my attention. It kept me entertained. It kept me interested in the match itself. I was really interested in the match, and this was a really good one-on-one match last night at TLC between Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to start off the night last night for TLC. I thought this match was really decent. I thought it was a decent match to start off the show last night for TLC for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I thought both men put on one heck of a match. I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought it was entertaining. I enjoyed it, and then we had the cash in by the Miz. The Miz came out during the AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre match and cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and Drew McIntyre had to fight off Miz and AJ Styles last night in a triple threat match at TLC last night for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Drew McIntyre ended off fighting off The Miz and AJ Styles last night at TLC for the WWE Championship, and Drew McIntyre ended up retaining his WWE World Heavyweight Championship last night at TLC against Miz and AJ Styles. So let's get right into the second match of the night. This was probably the second best match of the night last night on TLC between Sasha Banks and Carmela for the Smackdown Live Women's Championship. This match was fairly decent. It wasn't the best women's match by no means, but it was a decent women's match last night at TLC between the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Carmela for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Carmela did look good in the ring last night. She did look good. I will give her that. Carmela did look good. I thought Carmela did a pretty good job in the ring last night. I was impressed by Carmela. I was impressed by Carmela's in ring skill last night. I thought her in ring skill was pretty good. She looked good in the ring. She gave Sasha Banks a pretty good match last night at TLC for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. I thought this was a pretty decent one-on-one match between Carmela and Sasha Banks last night at TLC for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. The match was decent. It was alright to decent between Carmela and Sasha Banks last night at TLC for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. This match was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the best women's match by no means, but it was fairly decent. I enjoyed the match for what it was. It was an alright to decent women's match last night at TLC between the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Carmela last night on TLC for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And the Boss, Sasha Banks, makes Carmela tap out to the bank statement. The Boss, Sasha Banks, ended up picking up the win over Carmela last night at TLC by submission by making Carmela tap out to the bank statement. And then we had the Hurt Business versus Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This was a pretty decent 2-on-2 tag team match last night at the TLC pay-per-view for the Raw Tag Team Championships between the New Day and the Hurt Business. This tag team match was pretty decent. I thought it was an alright tag team match. It wasn't. It really didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, it wasn't like I would. It didn't make me say, "Oh my God," I would go back and rewatch this match again, because I really didn't feel that way about this match between the Hurt Business and the New Day. I really didn't feel that way. It's not like it didn't make me jump out of my seat and say, "Oh my God." I would go back and rewatch this tag team match again for the Raw Tag Team Championships last night at TLC. I just didn't get that feeling from this match. I mean, I didn't get that feeling like I would go back and rewatch this match. I mean, I probably would. I mean, it was alright for a tag team match. I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't the greatest tag team match. It was a decent tag team match last night at TLC between the New Day and the Hurt Business, which I'm over this feud, man. I really am. I'm just kind of over the Hurt Business and the New Day feud. I'm kind of over it at this point. It's overdone. It's overkill. I don't want to see it anymore. I hope this feud is over. I hope this feud between the New Day and the Hurt Business is over. I'm done with this feud. I don't want to see no more of this feud after TLC. I'm done with it. I don't want to see any more of the Hurt Business versus the New Day. I'm done with this feud. I'm done with it. I've had it with this feud. This feud is absolutely done nothing. It went nowhere. I don't care about the Hurt Business. The New Day has had their time in the sun as tag champs. They've had their time in the sun. I just don't care. I didn't really care about this tag team match last night at TLC between the New Day and the Hurt Business last night for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And the Hurt Business ended up winning the Raw Tag Team Championships last night at TLC over the New Day in a 2-on-2 tag team match last night at TLC. And then we had the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line last night at TLC in a 2-on-2 women's tag team match for the women's tag team championships with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus the Queen, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. This was a pretty decent women's 2-on-2 tag team match last night at TLC for the women's tag team championships. This women's tag team championship match was alright. I didn't really care for it. I mean, I'm glad to see Charlotte Flair back. That was cool. It's good to see the Queen Charlotte Flair back on TV. That's cool. As long as Charlotte Flair is a baby face, I'm alright with it. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. As long as Charlotte is a baby face, I'm good with it. Heel Charlotte, I don't like. To be honest, heel Charlotte is just an app. She don't do it for me, to be honest. Seeing Charlotte as a heel, it's kind of boring for me. It's just boring because she's always that heel. She always gets her way, and it's just kind of boring. Charlotte is boring as a heel to me. That's just my opinion on Charlotte as a heel. She's boring as a heel. But Charlotte as a baby face, I like it a lot. I like it a lot more because she comes off as a great personality, and I like her. I like her baby face. I like her as a baby face more than I do a heel. So I like this new baby face Charlotte. I like it. I don't really mind it now that she's a baby face. I don't really mind it, so I think that's really cool. But yeah, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match last night at TLC with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Asuka and the Queen Charlotte Flair for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This was a alright Women's Tag Team Championship match last night at TLC for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This match was alright. I really didn't look much into it. It was just alright to be a Women's Tag Team Championship match last night at TLC. This Women's Tag Team Championship match was alright. And the Queen, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka are your brand new Women's Tag Team Champs. They beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax last night at TLC for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And then let's get right into Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. This was a really, really good match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns last night at TLC for the Universal Championship. This was a really good match between KO and Roman last night, man. I enjoyed this match. These two guys absolutely destroyed each other and tore the house down last night at TLC for the Universal Championship. I thought this match was a really, really good match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens last night at TLC between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns last night at TLC. I thought this was a good Universal Championship match last night. I thought it was a really good match. It was fun as hell. I will admit that. This was a fun as hell match, man. This match was really, really fun. I enjoyed it. These two men destroyed each other. They put on one heck of a match last night at TLC for the Universal Championship. This match was a really, really fun match between KO and Roman Reigns last night at TLC, man. These two absolutely put on one heck of a match. They destroyed each other. I mean, there was tables involved. There was chairs involved in this match. I mean, there was a lot of destruction in this match between KO and Roman Reigns last night at TLC for the Universal Championship. These two guys absolutely destroyed each other last night at TLC for the Universal Championship in a very, very damn good match last night at TLC between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. This was for the Universal Championship last night at TLC. And Roman and Kevin Owens ended up destroying each other last night at TLC for the Universal Championship in a very, very good match last night at TLC. And Roman Reigns ended up retaining his Universal Championship over Kevin Owens last night at TLC. And then let's talk about the Fiend versus Randy Orton in the Firefly Inferno match last night in the main event of TLC. I really enjoyed this, man. This was probably the best thing. This probably the best thing about TLC last night was the Firefly Inferno match last night in the main event of TLC between Randy Orton and The Fiend. This was the best thing of the night last night at TLC. This Firefly Inferno match was really, really good, man. I thought it was well done. I enjoyed it. This is what This is what WWE needs to do a lot more, man. This Firefly Inferno match with The Fiend versus Randy Orton last night was really, really good. This was the best thing about TLC last night, in my opinion. This was the best thing about TLC last night. The Firefly Inferno match between Randy Orton and The Fiend came off really, really good. I thought it was an awesome match. I enjoyed it, man. This was a really, really good match between The Fiend and Randy Orton last night in the Firefly Inferno match last night at TLC in the main event of TLC last night. This was really, really good. This was probably the best thing on the show last night at TLC for the main event. This was the best thing on the show last night, in my opinion. I thought the Firefly Inferno match was the best thing about TLC last night between Randy Orton and The Fiend. I thought this was the best thing about TLC last night. That's my opinion. I really liked it. It was enjoyable. This is what WWE needs to do, in my opinion. They need to do more of that. What they did between The Fiend and Randy Orton last night at TLC in the Firefly Inferno match, they need to do a lot more of that. And this was a really, really damn good match between The Fiend and Randy Orton last night at TLC in the Firefly Inferno match last night in the main event of TLC. And Randy Orton ended up picking up the win over The Fiend at TLC by setting The Fiend on fire. Randy Orton set The Fiend on fire. Randy Orton pours gasoline all over The Fiend. Randy Orton lights a match and then throws it on The Fiend and sets The Fiend on fire. And that's how TLC will go off the air, was by Randy Orton pouring gasoline all over The Fiend and striking the match and throwing the match onto The Fiend to set The Fiend on fire. That's how TLC would end up going off the air. So if I'm going to tell you the things I enjoyed. The triple threat match I enjoyed between Drew McIntyre, The Miz, and AJ Styles. I enjoyed that to start off the night last night for TLC for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I enjoyed the Sasha Banks and Carmela match. I really, really enjoyed that match as well. That was a really good match as well. I enjoyed the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens match. I really enjoyed that. That was really good. I enjoyed their match too. That was a really, really good match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens last night at TLC for the Universal Championship. And I liked the main event of TLC last night between The Fiend and Randy Orton in the Firefly Inferno match in the main event of TLC. I like that. So overall, I'm gonna give TLC a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed the show. I thought the show was well done. It wasn't the best show by no means, but it was a pretty good show. I mean, it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it for what it was. So I'm gonna give TLC a 7.5 out of 10. So guys, let me know what you guys thought about TLC last night down in the comment section below. What did you guys enjoy last night about TLC? Let me know down in the comment section below about what you guys enjoyed about TLC last night. What did you guys enjoy last night on TLC? What did you guys enjoy? Let me know down in the comment section below. So, I'm going to give TLC a 7.5 out of 10. I thought TLC was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. Was it the best show was it was it one of the best shows they've done? No, but it was a pretty good show. I'll give it a, like I said, I'm gonna give this show from last night for TLC a 7.5 out of 10. So if you guys like this TLC review, hit that thumbs up. It helps my YouTube channel in the YouTube algorithm. And guys, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for all the notifications here on my YouTube channel. And thank you guys for watching this TLC review. Overall, my biggest gripe about TLC last night is, where do all your champions go now after TLC? Where does the tag champs go? Where does the women tag champs go? Where does Drew McIntyre go? Where does Roman Reigns go? Where does Sasha Banks go? Where does your champions go after TLC last night? Where do you have all your championships go? Where do you have all your championships going? Where do you have your champions going after last night at TLC? That's my biggest gripe. You really didn't do much last night at TLC. You really didn't do anything to make sense of anything. You don't know. We don't even know where the champions are going or who they're feuding with. We don't know where the tag champs are going. We don't know where the women tag champs are going. We don't know where Drew McIntyre is going. We don't know where Roman Reigns is going. We don't know where Sasha Banks is going. We don't know where any of your champs are going. That's my biggest gripe about TLC last night, is where are your champs going? Who are they going to feud with after TLC? Who are they going to feud with? Who does Sasha feud with? Who does Drew McIntyre feud with? Who does Roman feud with? Who does your women tag champs feud with? Who does your Raw tag champs feud with after last night on TLC? You made no sense of who your champions who they're going to be feuding with after TLC last night. That's my biggest gripe about this pay-per-view, is you really didn't do much of anything. You didn't really increase any storyline last night at TLC. You really didn't increase any storyline going into Monday Night Raw tonight. You didn't really increase any storyline going into Raw. We don't know where any of the champions are going. We don't know who they're feuding with. That's my biggest gripe tonight after this whole pay-per-view. The biggest thing about this TLC pay-per-view tonight was the return of Charlotte Flair. That's it. The biggest thing was built around the return of Charlotte Flair. That was the biggest thing that happened last night at TLC, was TLC being built around the return of the Queen Charlotte Flair. That was the only big thing that happened last night at TLC, was the return of Charlotte Flair. So now you got to make sense of where your champions are going tonight after TLC for Monday Night Raw. Where's the Raw tag champs going? Where does Sasha Banks go? Where does Roman go? Where does the women tag champs go? You got to make sense of where your champions are going. Are they going to float between brands? Are they gonna go between brands like NXT, Smackdown, Raw? Are the championships going to float between all three brands? I mean, what are we going to get tonight for Raw? Are we going to get Vince McMahon coming out and saying the championships are going to float between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT? Is that what we're going to get? Are we going to get some kind of shake-up? Vince McMahon comes out on Monday Night Raw tonight and says, we're going to get the championship to float between all three brands, NXT, SmackDown, and Monday Night Raw. Is that what Vince McMahon is going to come out on Monday Night Raw tonight and do? And say, like, we're going to shake things up and all the championships are going to float between brands like NXT, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live? Is that what we're going to get tonight from Monday Night Raw? Is having the championships float between all three brands. Is NXT going to be included in this floating of the brands? Is the NXT Women's Champion going to be on Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and on NXT as well? Is she going to float between two brands, between Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT? Or is NXT going to be included in this floating of the brands? I mean, you got to make sense of where your champions are going. Are your champions going to float between brands? Are they going to go from SmackDown to Raw to NXT? Is NXT going to be included in this floating of the brands for the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Men's Championship with Finn Balor? Is he going to be on Raw feuding with people for the NXT Men's Championship? You gotta make sense of where all of these championships are going. Are you gonna say all the championships on SmackDown and Raw are they gonna float between SmackDown, Raw, and NXT? That would be cool. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind seeing all these champions float between brands like SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. I wouldn't mind that. That would be awesome to see, man. I would agree with that. Have the championships float between brands. Have the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai go to SmackDown. Have Finn Balor go to Monday Night Raw. Have Roman Reigns go to NXT. Have Sasha Banks go to NXT. Have the women's tag team champs go to NXT. Have Asuka and Charlotte go to NXT and feud with somebody on NXT. Have the championships float between brands. That would be something. That'd be something you could do tonight on Monday Night Raw. Do something that needs to be done and have the championships float between all three brands. NXT, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live. Guys, let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. Would you guys have the championships on all three brands float between all these brands like NXT, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown Live? Would you have all these champions floating between brands? I know I would. That's what I would do. If I was Vince McMahon, I would come out tonight and say, we're going to have all the champions from NXT, SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, and in NXT, we're going to have all these guys, we're going to have all your men and women from NXT, SmackDown, Raw, float between each brand and have them compete for, said championships. That's what I would do. It makes sense. I mean, so guys, let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. So thank you guys for watching this NXT. Thank you guys for watching this TLC review. Thank you guys for watching this TLC review. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you guys. And I will see you guys back here tonight for Monday Night Raw. So I'm giving TLC a 7.5 out of 10. And here's what I would do. Since you did the Firefly Inferno match last night at TLC, you need to build Monday Night Raw around the Firefly Inferno match last night that happened at TLC. You need to build Monday Night Raw around that tonight. Vince McMahon needs to come out and say, since we had the Firefly Inferno match last night between Randy Orton and the Fiend Bray Wyatt, we're gonna do something nobody's ever seen before. They need to build around the Firefly Inferno match tonight on Monday Night Raw. They need to build Monday Night Raw around the Firefly Inferno match that happened last night at TLC. They need to build Monday Night Raw around that. Have something big happen tonight on Monday Night Raw. I mean, that's what I would do, but hey, Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this TLC review. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys back here tonight for Monday Night Raw. So anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one, man. Your boy's out. Peace.